Okay, today we are starting the tutorial series for a simple dense neural network in C++. A lot of what we're going to do here today is based off of two other YouTube channels. There's Soding Daily, where a lot of the matrix operations were built in one of his videos for making neural networks. But the architecture that I used, I differed from him I more liked this way of going, following this book. So this was made by another YouTuber, the channel Syntax, by this guy. He's the main dude from that channel, and this goes through a lot of stuff about neural networks, for dense neural networks at least. Goes through teaching you about matrix operations, about the dot product, about the different nonlinear activations, and a lot of detail as to the theory or the information behind neural networks. I'll be skipping the basics, assuming you already know how neural networks work, and I will assume, like, you've probably made it in Python, a neural network in Python. You know how a dot product works. So yeah, I'm assuming a lot of stuff. If you need to learn that stuff, I would find a tutorial on that stuff. Check out this book. It's got a lot of good stuff. But yeah, so we're gonna start here. We're going to start off with the matrix operations. Need those. Structure. We're going to make our structure. It's going to be for the matrix. You'll need to know how many rows you got, how many columns you got, and then need an array. Call it data array to fit the data within our matrix. Start off with a few basic functions, allocating the memory, also that's so when you allocate it, there's the values are not filled in, so we'll need to do a few functions for filling in the values in there, so you can fill it with a certain number. You can fill it with random values. Between a low and high, which obviously need that for setting up the neural network. All the matrices get filled in with random values. Then we will also want to print out our results. Print out any matrix that we are wanting to see. We're going to use this a lot to make sure everything's being made properly in the beginning. Let's see. Alright, so sorry, just changing my setup a little bit. So we'll allocate memory into this vector. And then you got to convert it to a float. Otherwise, it's not happy. Alright, so to fill in every value, a couple for loops. Gotta loop through all the rows and then loop through all the columns. And there's one other thing I want to make, just to make it easier to state where the values are. I'm going to use this little function, so you don't have to remember to do the location, or the row times the columns plus the jth spot. So that's how this is how you find the index within the array, but I'd rather just do it this way. Yeah, I got this from the Soding Daily channel. Makes it way easier. So yeah, fills in every location with a specific value that we stated. And now we'll just be making, so at every position, gonna make it equal to a random number between the low and the high. And you do that. So this here gets you a random number between 0 and 1. This will stretch it out between the basically a distance from high to low. High minus low equals a distance between each other. So this gives you between 0 and 1. This changes that to, let's say this is 2 and 1, or 2 and 0, so it's a distance of 2. So it'd be between, let's say it's 3 and 1, so there's still a distance of 2 that this would be, and then you add in the low to do the offset. And then we want to print the matrix to make sure whenever we're having bugs, you always have to do print statements to find where you messed up. So this will print in the form of a matrix. You go through the column. Each column would be like this: 1, 3, 5. So each column for this one, going through each value, first value, and then second value, space, second value, space, third value. And then at to the end of that row, so that's one row, end of that row goes down here and shoots you down to the next line. Alright, so we'll test it all out so far. Make sure we save it. So make a matrix A, allocate the memory, make it a 2 by 3. And then you have to fill in the matrix. Let's fill it in with a single value right now. Let's say 3.2 float. And then we'll just print it. So you know everything so far is working. Alright, so got it down here. A 2 by 3. 2 by 3 matrix. Nice. And then you can switch this to randomizing. Make it 3.2 to 6.5. Random values is what it'll shoot out. Nice. Alright, so the next thing to do the important part of a neural network is the dot product. Make a destination one, and then do a dot product between two matrices. So you'll do A dot B, and it'll come out with the destination one. Sorry, I'm getting over being sick. And really, this is pretty simple. First, let's make sure assert that the matrices will actually work before you try it. So dst dot rows equals a dot rows. So like I said, I'm not going to go into how you define a matrix multiplication, aka a dot product. Yeah, I would have you learn that before watching this video. But yeah, we need the destination rows, the output, the rows of the output are equal to the rows of the first matrix. The columns of the output are equal to the columns of the second matrix. And then you got to make sure that the two inner parts are equal as well. And then you just set the, let's see, so we'll make sure we set, just to be safe, set the destination to 0. and then add up the multiplications. Let's see. I, comma k times let's see, k comma j, I believe. That should be it. Okay, cool. Save this. Alright, so make mat be, make this a 3 by 4. So the output will be a 2 by 4. So we'll fill the A and B matrices. Do a dot B. So honestly, if you wanted it to be faster in terms of memory writes, you'd probably want to change this dot product. Well, I don't know why they don't really talk about it, but you would actually want both of them to be going through the rows to make the memory reads faster on B. But whatever. They do those optimizations kind of things in GPUs, matrix multiplications. But yeah. So we got A, B, do the dot product, and we'll set the destination to 0, even though in the dot product it ends up doing it anyways. And then we'll print and see what the results are. Make sure I save this. Alright, so what we get is so what we would get is 2 by 3, so 1. So this is A. That's a 3 by 4, so one, two, 3, and 4. So in order to get this, what's happening, go through those. 3 by 4. My bad. So multiply in something there with those. So 1 times 2 plus 1 times 2 plus 1 times 2, 2, 4, 6. Get to that value. And then keeps going through each of them.